but I also
You
understand.
support the Patriot Act?
Yes,
Why do you support the Patriot Act?
because I don't
Let me
believe
read the Fourth Amendment so I don't get it screwed
because
up.
I don't believe our
me
Constitution
read-
is a suicide pact.
And I'm not.
We are kept in fear so that people like
Yep.
you will keep running to the government and give them more power.
Yes.
By the way, I do want to thank you for being here, John, because I really, really wanted to know that. Thank you. Let me read the Fourth Amendment so I get it right, because I won't get it right if I don't read it.
I'd like to point out a little observation that I noticed. I don't know if too many people do. 1992 was about 1992 was the end of the Cold War. 1989, right?
No, not
89.
Yeah, sort of kind
End
of.
of a Cold War, a war that was somewhat invisible, a kind of quiet war. Less than a little bit more than a decade later.
Take the
I'm
microphone.
almost done. A little bit more than a decade later, we go right into the same thing again. I'm done.
That's because the people in power want to keep us in fear to keep them in power.
Change it at the precinct.
But let me read, no, let's change it at the country. Let's change the thinking of the people and understand what was in here.
And where's that going to happen at? In your neighborhood, in your precinct.
This is my closing remarks.
Well, if we're here, we'll
Hey, everybody get closer.
make it easier for the drones.
It makes it easier for the drones. For the drone strike.
They don't have to do one bomb instead of wasting all that millions.
Fortunately, the drones are on VFR.
You're sitting too far away. Okay. Let me read the Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath. Too many people stop at 10 comment. Supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized, shall not be violated. The Patriot Act is illegal. It can't go.
Amen.
Let me finish. The Patriot Act cannot go past this piece of paper legally. Anything done under the Patriot Act is illegal, immoral, illegal. Now let me get to that comma. Period. But upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation. I don't care if Cruella DeVille is sitting over there and she's collecting the Dalmatians of all the neighborhood to make herself a jacket. If she doesn't say to me, or she doesn't, I don't see her, if I don't go in front of a judge and say I saw or I heard, it is none of the government's business. That's what those words say. Drones and the Patriot Act should be run out of this country, and anybody that believes in it should go with them, and I'll help you drive. I'll drive you to the border.
So are you a precinct committee member?
No, I'm a business.
So you ain't doing squat other than standing here reading these words, but you're not doing nothing to defend these words other than standing here talking.
I put just as much effort in the last 5 years as you have, trust me.
If we're going to get elected officials that will not pass Patriot Act,
Here's
the way to
problem.
do that is we have to start in our neighborhood. We have to start in our
And elect
precincts.
leaders, right?
And we elect those precinct
We elect
committee
leaders.
members. We elect those precinct
leaders.
committee members.
Say the
Those
word.
precinct committee
Leaders.
members go and elect the leaders from their floor. So where is this going to happen? It's going to happen in your neighborhood. It's going to happen in my neighborhood. The place that's going to happen is in the precincts. You know, we can sit here and bitch and complain about all these things that are illegal against the Constitution, but you know what? The problem is the people up there were elected in to do exactly what they're doing by you and me.
So
Because
the
we didn't
precinct
get off
leaders-
our butts
So
and
the
elect
precinct
people up there that will
leaders-
do what you and I want
Are
to
you a
do.
precinct leader?
Yes, I
So
am.
you are one of the people that should have said, hey, at least give Ron Paul the fair share of the microphone.
And I did.
I didn't hear you.
And I did.
Then you should have pushed harder, because I didn't hear you.
You know, but my push hard is to
Well,
get more
here's
people
the biggest thing.
elected into these
Here's
offices
the reason
that
I
will
pushed
stand
you.
up against that stuff.
Here's the reason I pushed you into saying leaders. We have to stop electing leaders. The leaders need to be out here creating
You and I
jobs
don't elect the
down in
leaders.
Washington.
We don't elect the leaders.
We should be electing followers.
Your precinct members elect those leaders. Your precinct members put
But
those names up.
you think a person like me that came out of his chair 5 years ago and started learning all this stuff and started getting more involved and almost did get back. I thought I saw a friend of mine up here. I don't see him now. He must have left.
Thanks a lot.
That tried to get me into being a delegate. that did start and try to run, put my name on the ballot and everything else, all the while watching the Republican Party just constantly.
So you
lie
didn't want to
and
be
cheat.
a delegate.
I wanted to be part of the answer. But
Well,
all I
part
did-
of being the solution is being a delegate.
I had my name as a delegate.
Oh, but you weren't a delegate.
You know, I don't even understand the process.
Well, that's what you have to learn the process. I mean, you understand the Fourth Amendment very well, but you don't understand how the process works to get these amendments passed and get them to change places.
What I have to do is keep.
You know, just sitting here getting these people to go out and do something is not going to do it. You have to do this in your neighborhood. You must do this in your precinct. If you do not do this in your precinct, you stand a snowball's chance of hell of changing any of this.
I write plenty and I speak plenty.
John, I got a question for you.
But I think the point he's trying to make here is that the Fourth Amendment, we can understand it, but until the Patriot Act, why haven't you brought it to the Supreme Court? Why hasn't it gone to the Supreme Court?
Stay
To be
with the
declared-
Supreme Court.
To be declared, that's the process the Constitution says.
It shouldn't be there in the first place.
But
The
that's
American
fine,
people
but the
have to
checks and
stand up.
balances,
The
the checks and
American
balances
people
of the
have to stand up.
Constitution say that that's what the Supreme Court is there
Here's
for,
what
to determine
happens. Here's what
constitutionality.
happens legally. This is what happens legally on the Patriot Act. Okay? Federal officer shows up my door with a warrant. I don't care what it's for. He shows up at my door. He's knocking on the door. I said, no, you're not coming in. What's the ground? Well, we have a warrant. Who told you what? Well, we don't need that. We just voted. The Patriot Act says. Okay? What's my next thing I do? Is I pick up my phone and I call the sheriff and I say, Sheriff, I have federal agents here at my door and they don't have a legal warrant. Does the sheriff show up and scare them off my front porch?
No.
They have a legal warrant according to the law that is in place.
Which law?
The Patriot Act.
No,
But hold
this
on.
is the thing I can't get people like you to understand.
No, but Harry,
this
no,
trumps
no.
the Patriot Act. It
I
says
understand
this
that.
shall not be
Hold on.
violated.
I understand that. But the only way the Patriot Act can be declared unconstitutional, taken off the books, is if then you get arrested, you're taken to prison, and then you fight it, and it goes to the Supreme Court. That is the checks and balances our Constitution.
It
The
shouldn't
Supreme
be
Court-
supported by people like you in the first place. It
But that's not
shouldn't
how it
be
gets off the.
supported by you like people in the first place.
What shouldn't be supported?
The Patriot Act, it's illegal, it's trumped by this.
I understand that. So you go through the process that's in that
No,
to
no,
nullify
no.
an unconstitutional
People
law.
like you need to recognize it's illegal and should make sure they take it off the books.
How am I going to do that, Harry?
By you agreeing to it going off the book, and he agrees that it shouldn't be there, and he agrees, and he agrees, and I agree, and he agrees, and he
Absolutely.
agrees.
Then what happens? Then we got to
We don't
elect somebody.
stand out of
Then we
places
have,
like this
then
and
we have to
support
elect
illegal
somebody.
law.
Then we have to elect
No,
somebody that's
we
going to
don't
take it off
support the illegal
how
law.
how do we get off the books then?
Neighbor, the federal government
How do
shows
you
up
get
at
off
your
the-
neighbor's door,
How do you
you
get off
walk
the book?
over and tell them to get off.
How do you get off the book?
Mulder,
Not on the books legally, this
It
Trump
doesn't make any
says.
difference on how it's on. How do you get it off?
So as long as the government keeps you in fear and makes you afraid that they're going to arrest you, well, then we're just going to leave it on the books.
How are you going to get it off? Tell me how to get it off the
Mulder,
book.
That's what I'm saying.
reverse, and
Okay,
Madison,
so
any
we
law.
speak out
Against it, not stand there when I asked you to agree with it. You said you agreed with
I
it.
do agree with it.
Is over 200 years
You're
old,
more
never
than
been.
enough Alden Rumpoff.
I do agree with it.
Bye.
Let's go! Hey, we got to set up round 2 on this later.